this is what being in nature's all about. It's really feeling it and really being with it, and I'm staying here for a bit. Come with me today as I explore one of the hidden gems in the middle of Sussex. It's a nature reserve in a place where you wouldn't expect to find one. I'm hoping for some nice wildlife shots, maybe a few little forest type shots, and then whatever else I can find. But come with me today as I explore Bedelands Nature Reserve. Now I checked the weather forecast last night and it said it was going to be awful weather today, cloudy and overcast and rainy and horrible. So I did a little bit of searching and I searched for somewhere where I might be able to find something like a waterfall locally. I found this place called Bedelands Nature Reserve and I've just driven up here now and this is my plan for today. What I didn't expect was to be parked basically in the middle of a housing estate, so this is going to be interesting. It's obviously it's a nature reserve, so you know I've seen people dog walking. There's a dog walker's car park next to me as well, so this is going to be quite interesting. I put my telephoto lens on thinking that this is going to be long distance shots of animals, but actually this could be something far more interesting, so let's see how this goes. So far so mildly frustrating. It's a wonderful bit of woodland this. At the start I was a little bit worried because I was walking by what appeared to be the sides of Burgess Hill Town Football Club, and there was a lot of noise coming from some industrial work going on somewhere, but actually the further you get into it the nicer it looks. I've stopped here because, as I said, I had my telephoto lens out. I've not really been able to get any great shots with it. I wanted to get some of the squirrels. I did get one pose for me, but unfortunately it posed for me just behind a leaf, so it wasn't quite the shot I wanted, but I quite like it anyway, but it's not going to be making my greatest hits. I have of course found this felled tree. Why wouldn't I? It's me. So I'm going to try and take some shots around here now. I have got my kit lens on my Ep2 because I still haven't upgraded both of my bodies. So I'm going to try and keep both cameras out, I think, because there's opportunities for shots for both of them. And I don't really want to be changing my lenses, so I can live with 16 megapixels for this sort of stuff. Well, I think I'm happy with that. I might have to do some magic in Photoshop and Lightroom just to give it a bit of interest really, because it's a little bit flat, but I think with a little bit of dodging and burning it will look quite nice. Let's move on and see what else we can find. This has just got really exciting because look, found this den here which has clearly been put together by some very experienced hunters. Do you know how I know that? Because if you look very closely at the top here, they have caught the very rare and extremely difficult to capture box of Capri Sun. Right, now I don't know where I am, but I'm not too far off the beaten track. There are paths all around me and there are often signposts, so I'm not worried about getting lost today, which makes a nice change. I am, however, going to revise what I said earlier. I'm just going to pick one lens and stick with it from this point onwards, because unless I find a spot that particularly needs a lens, it's just been a pain in the arse, quite frankly. Carrying two cameras around with me, plus this thing, plus the camcorder, if anything, it's taking away my ability to get the shots when I need to, because I've got my hands full, I need to put stuff down. So yeah, a bit of a backward bit of thinking there for me, but let's go forwards again. So I'm going to put everything away. I'm going to just get out my kit lens on my Ep2, I think. That way I also know that I've got a slightly better ISO resilience if I need to go up to maybe 6400, because it is quite dark in here, and if I want anything fast moving I'm going to want a little bit more sensitivity. Is that the right word? I don't know. All I know is that the 6400 on the Ep2 is as good as the 3200 on the Ep1. So that's my review for you. Anyway, let's crack on. I found a nice little bit of water behind this tree here, or suddenly something reflecting. It looks like a little pool of water. I'm going to see if I can find a way to access it. I'd quite like a high up shot of it, but I also don't want to go down this slope because it's quite steep. Okay, so I came down the slope and it wasn't exciting where I wanted to go. So I've moved on. I kind of walked by. It turns out I'm right next to the stream, river, whatever it is. Some water anyway. And now I'm trying to stay on my feet. About to come to a bridge, but I can hear some serious running water, which makes me think that all hope may not be lost for that waterfall shot that I came for. So, here we go. Right, back on the path, back into the main woodland area. That's a gorgeous tree as well, actually. Might quickly try and get this tree. Not sure the light's right for it. It's going to be a bit dark in places, but I might be able to do something a bit of HDR. Hey, you know how I'm a big fan of a felled tree? Well, look at this. I have, where is it? I'll sod it, I'll do an establishing shot. I found a tree that branches across the river. I think also there's somewhere to hold on as well. Now I have got a very heavy backpack on. This is going to go one of two ways. Okay, so I nearly slipped getting up here. I'm currently holding on to this tree. There is another tree over here. It's really only a couple of steps. It's the movement of my backpack that's making me nervous. It's a nice width as well. But if I do slip, I don't care about the pain, it's the water and the damage to a grand's worth of equipment. Shit, and the rest. Jeez, I've got that much equipment now. Right, I'm definitely not going to do this with the camera running. I know that much. Bottled it. Sorry. Validation. 30-second walk. I found a natural place to cross. And look at this. You can probably hear this already. This is what I came here for. Doesn't look that impressive on this camera, but when I find the right angle, this is going to be awesome. This is amazing. Just listen to that noise. You can just feel the power of nature. Look how fast that water is coming down. Even with a shutter speed of a 20th of a second, I'm getting a nice creamy flow. This is what being in nature is all about. It's really feeling it and really being with it, and I'm staying here for a bit. Okay, so this has been an exhilarating half an hour. I decided to chance it and I came down one of these slopes, and needless to say, I didn't come down of my own accord. I made it about 2/3 of the way down and then lost my footing. But when I got down here, the heavens opened. I got the rain that I thought was coming. Obviously, this waterfall, there's two of them in fact, are just a real example of the power of nature, and it's quite intimidating down here. There is of course this huge log over here, so worst case scenario, I run over that and get back onto the mainland, and I have to say that the water's probably only about 2 feet deep anyway, so I'm not worried about getting stranded here. But for a while, I was a little bit, well, I was full of adrenaline, let's put it that way. There's so many shots I can get here, and I'm going to spend a little bit longer. I've got a feeling that none of these are going to be exactly what I want, but I lost my focus for a bit and just took as many shots as I could, thinking I was going to get straight out. Now I'm a bit more relaxed. I'm going to see if I can get some more considered shots. I might bring out the wide angle again, and then I'm going to take it from there. But this has been fantastic. This is, yeah, I mean, I'll show you a picture of my arse as well, just so you can see how well this went. Addendum, it's not just my backside that needs cleaning, all my kit needs cleaning now, and this is a brand new XT2. I mean, thankfully it's not got too wet. I protected it with my hat. I have got a waterproof kit in the bag, but it looked like the shower wasn't going to last for long, so I went for the quick option, and thankfully I was proved right. But take a look at this. If my tripod wasn't knackered before, it is now. I went right into the water as well with it, so yeah. I also forgot I brought my wellies with me and I left them in the car. Great. Oh, rain, here we go again. Right, better get going. So this is hands down the messiest shoot I've ever done. I nearly ended up in the water. My sodding bottle did, so I had to go in after it. I managed to get it without actually going in myself, but I had to go down on my knees on the muddy water banks. I've got about an hour now till sunset, so given that I don't know where I am, it's probably time for me to start heading back. First things first, how do I get back up? Probably not going to film this bit. That was so much fun, and it was so much easier getting back up than it was getting down there. You know, I know it's a bit of a cliche, but as adults we never like take the time to just stop and relax and play in the mud. And once I went down that slope, that was it. I didn't care anymore. I'm absolutely covered in mud. But just as I was leaving, I spotted another shot, a better shot. And I think, as is often the way with these things, probably the shot that I took on my way out was the best shot of the day, but we'll see when I get back. Anyway, a couple of girls who were walking their dogs and had a kid with them just very nicely pointed me in the right direction to come back. I then started going through the woodland, and she said, no, you need to go on the main path. And I was like, but that looks much more interesting. But I've come back on the main path. I'm trying to be a bit more sensible. But yeah, this has been a wonderful experience, and there might be a few more shots in it yet. I've got my Ep2 and my kit lens on. Again, I haven't changed lenses or anything. I didn't do the wide angle shots in the end. There's so much muck around me, on my hands, on my clothes, on the camera, on the tripod. The tripod's had it. I didn't want to get another lens out. I've just found this, which probably doesn't do any justice in this camera, but it's like a little graveyard for sideshow bobs. And I'm trying to do it justice, but I started stepping towards it. It's obviously like a bit of a boggy marsh when there's actually some water here. And I put 1 foot forward and my foot sank into the floor, and I was like, whoa, okay, back you come. So I'm not going to be able to do what I want with this. But again, a couple of quick shots on the way back, I think is fine. Again, I ended up spending longer here than I wanted to, but I really need to do a bit more research, I think, before I come out to these places, particularly if I think over the winter I'm likely to be going to a lot more woodland. I have to say though, my reluctance to plan isn't down to what you might think it is, which is, you know, most people assume it's laziness, but it's not. I love to be surprised, and that's perhaps my weakness, and it's probably ultimately what's going to kill me, because I really love just stumbling across things and finding things, and I am very safety aware, contrary to how I sometimes come across. I wouldn't, for example, continue wandering into this marshland. I think I'm done here. Let's move on. Well, that was a lot of fun. I've no idea how many pictures I've got that I'm going to like. I have a feeling there's not going to be a huge amount. Hopefully there'll be a couple of the waterfall that I really like, but my first time shooting them, so you know, it's an experience either way, isn't it? It was so much fun in there. And I have to say I felt really, really safe. Even when I slipped down that slope and I had that half hour of panic, there was a brilliant moment, and I'm going to see if I can put a picture in here that shows it. I was in such a state of high adrenaline. I spotted something like a dark blue shape beneath the water, and I panicked because my mind told me it was a shark in 2 feet of water in the middle of Sussex. I've got to say, it's a fantastic location. I'm definitely coming back here again because there's so much more to cover, and I think places like this are brilliant for this sort of weather. So maybe when it properly hammers it down, I'm going to see about weatherproofing my camera as much as I can. Either way, I've had a fantastic time today, and that's what this is all about. If you're not enjoying your photography, what are you doing? I really enjoyed that. Nice little walk in the middle of nowhere, falling down a slope, covered in crap all over me, but hey, we only live once, don't we? Thanks for going with me. Until next time, remember, like, comment and subscribe.